Welcome in to the channel, Tennessee Podcast. It is October the 12th, 2025. Tennessee wins a close one against Arkansas, 34-31. Alabama is on deck. 6 of the top 25 teams in the top 25 lost this past weekend. And, well, Tennessee was not one of them. So that's positive. Penn State did something not positive, but maybe positive, firing James Franklin. UAB also fired Trent Dilfer, which I believe was like 9-21 overall. Indiana takes down Oregon. And we'll look around all of college football. Every bit of it. And officiating around the country, my friends, is absolutely a massive problem. Not just in the Tennessee game, not just in the Auburn and Georgia game. My God, Auburn and Georgia game. We'll get to that too. But welcome in the channel, Tennessee Podcast. A lot of stuff to cover, as you just heard. But let's start out. Austin, how are we? We were at the game yesterday. How is it going, my friend? And we will about to break this thing down.
I am a little hoarse, probably the most hoarse I have been all season. And I tried, Georgia game, I got pretty hoarse, but this is number one on the year for me because, SEC officials, that's all I can say. I was very passionately yelling at a certain official for a good while. My seats are low down, so I like to believe he could hear me. Probably couldn't, but whatever. It's what happened. But we got the win. We got a win, and any win in this conference is worth celebrating. It is.
Yeah.
But back-to-back Saturdays, back-to-back wins where we're feeling a little. It didn't have to be that hard. It didn't have to.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. And before we get to all of that, and before we get to my opinion, I'm just going to go ahead and say this podcast is brought to you by Southern Turf. It's turf time in Tennessee. Give my buddy Scott from Southern Turf a call for a free quote on your artificial turf needs, ranging from backyard to football fields to putting greens and more. Scott has a solution at an affordable price compared to his competitors. You give him a call at 704-960-2651. That is Scott with Southern Turf. All right. You're kind of angry, and listen, you just said a win is a win, and it's really hard to get a win. And I saw one of our buddies tweet out not that long ago. It was earlier today, and he said, man, the people that were around in 1998 or the people that did not see 1998, they would have absolutely lost their minds watching that 98 team. And it is kind of a good point. And I get it's not the same, but you got to think also football is not the same as it was in 98. So I want to get your take on that because people imagine in 1998, if Tennessee were to line up with the last second field goal against Syracuse, what would Twitter be like? They'd be losing their damn minds. The first game of the season.
I don't know. Syracuse was like a top 15 team on the road. Donovan McNabb at quarterback. That was a good team you were playing.
I know. And then what about Arkansas that year too? And then Florida that
Arkansas
year too.
was undefeated in November.
I know, but people left the damn stadium.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I had a little issue with that. I saw the tweet, and I don't really agree because we played Vandy that year, beat them 41-0. Kentucky murdered them. Georgia came in with all the hype in the world. We beat them 22-3 in their own house. Auburn, that might have been the one game you can kind of be a little bit like that with. We won 17-9, didn't score past I don't think, second quarter really. But that was on the Plains, so you really couldn't be that mad. I guess you could say Syracuse, you expected a little more, but you got the win in their house in the Carrier Dome with no AC in freaking September. I don't know. I think, you were playing one of the worst teams in the SEC, and they took you down to the wire. You won, and then the week before that, you played, I think, an even worse team. I mean, it had to take overtime to pull that one out. So I don't know if I'd necessarily agree it's the same kind of deal with 98.
No, it's not. They're not saying it's the same thing. They're saying that winning is very hard in the SEC, which it is. It's very hard. And if you look every week, including last week And this week, and I'm not sitting here trying to pump the sunshine, but I'm trying to be realistic here because you look at last week, you look at this week, there is a lot of teams that lost when they should have not lost. And yesterday, Tennessee should have probably won by a whole lot more than they did. But at the end of the day, they come away with the win when a lot of other teams come away with an L. And there was 6 people in the top 25 that came away with an L, and Tennessee wasn't one of them. And Arkansas has given Tennessee fits for as long as I can remember. Ever. It's always been that way.
I will say this. Taylor Green, he might be a top 6 or 7 quarterback in the entire sport. That guy, I don't know. There were a couple plays where we had him dead to rights, but that guy is just a playmaker, and he got out of it and moved the chains. Yep. I gotta be honest. That guy impressed me. And they were coming off a bye. They did have that whole, we got the in our men, and we're gonna get ourselves right. I mean, hell, Florida did that last year and went 5-0 down the stretch against good competition. So I mean, I'm not trying to put lipstick on a pig here, but I'm like here and there about it. No, that wasn't good enough. Arkansas is a little better than that. I mean, hell, Arkansas did take Ole Miss to the wire, fumbled on the last possession.
I guess who took Ole Miss to the wire yesterday? Washington State. Yeah. They only won by 3 points, Ole Miss did. So that's what I'm talking about. And you're going to get, we keep saying this, but we keep saying this. You're going to get a real test on Saturday. You're going to get a real test this week. Well, they are going to get a real test this week when they go down to Alabama. And I'm not going to lie to you, I am scared shitless with that game after watching the defense. Like I feel like Alabama could score 60 if they wanted to. I don't know what needs to happen with this defense, or if we're going to get certain players back that we've been saying we're going to get back, but watching that defense, it does not make me feel well going down to Tuscaloosa this weekend.
I will tell you exactly what they need to do. I'll say it right into the mic. They need to play better. That's really it. They need to make tackles better. They need to be quicker to the ball. I do think this team is better than they've shown. I do. I really do believe they can play better than this. They like Saturday, and Joseph's and can't quite remember the other player that was in the interview after the game, but they all both said like we have not played our best football, and it's still
John Ross,
Jackson Ross,
Jackson Ross played an incredible.
It was 2 defensive players.
Yeah, but I agree. They just need to play better. You watch the game; it's like just they're missing just tackle after tackle. It looks like and it's weird because teams under Heupel, they're pretty good on defense. They make tackles. They do like the fundamental things right on the field that you need to like succeed besides penalties. And my God, that's just never going to end, penalties. Sean comments in Jordan Ross. Yes, Jordan Ross. He had a hell of a game yesterday. But
yeah,
they need to do the simplistic things right. And a win is a win. And again, it's very hard, very difficult. But at the same time, as a fan, you can also be frustrated. Like those things can coincide. Like this whole argument of like, you can't get mad. Like this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, you can get mad because you watch other teams on TV and you're like, wow, they do that really well. And you look at us, you're like, well, they don't do that really well. But then on the other hand, you see teams that do the same things that we do that are pretty damn good teams. And of course, we're going to be more critical because it's our team. So that's just how we're always going to be because we're fans. We're fanatics. That's what fans are.
You will always get that. Yeah, that's something I always have to take into account. Like, there's this narrative that, Heupel can't in-game coach at all. But I'm like, I think about it. I'm like, well, if he can't, then every coach we've ever had can't. Because, I mean, that's kind of been the narrative since, I think, 2007 that we don't have any guys that can be in-game coaches. So it's like, yeah, you're always going to get that bias take. Everyone thinks their coach is terrible. Everyone.
Yeah, you're right. You're completely right. And it is because it's our team. It is because it's our coach, and we are going to be more critical of our players and everything in regards to that with our coaches. But again, I'll go back to it and I'll stick to my guns on this. If you're another team and you see Tennessee on the schedule, you're like, oh crap, like that's going to be a really hard game. That's not going to be easy. I'll stick to that. That's how I judge it. If you see Tennessee on their schedule, get the cat away. If we see them on our schedule, go ahead, Austin. Forgot what I was going to say.
Okay. Well, okay, we're going to this Alabama game. They have looked pretty freaking good. I will say Jam Miller went down in that game. I don't know if he's going to be back. It's going to be a very different situation if he's back or not. That definitely heavily affects the game because, I mean, if you don't have your running back number one, that's going to really help us because that's currently what we suck most at is tackling your running back number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're out Edwin Spillman for the whole first half because he had the targeting. He got his money. He got his money's worth there.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was. I think what's so disappointing about this is kind of we had that moment where we felt like, okay, this is what we want. We're up 34-17. We're doing the damn thing. We finally are actually, we made adjustments. We were getting carved up Arkansas in the first half, but we made adjustments and kicked their ass on defense in the third quarter. And then those last two drives where it just felt like we're just like, no, we just want to cool the Jets here, man. Like, were we not aware there was more football to be played? Did we act like, oh, the game's over? I hate that. I hate that.
Go ahead and read Donald's comment on the page right now.
Oh,
go ahead and read it.
Donald says, "Do you all think Heupel gets conservative once he gets up on a team?" Absolutely. And that's not what he used to do.
No.
I don't know what changed. I do think. I don't know. I guess it's something he took up with Nico last season because and Joe because he didn't trust his quarterbacks that well. He didn't feel like if he wanted to put the foot in the throat, he could do it. And maybe I don't know, pressure's gotten to him. I don't know, but it's something I don't like. I want it out of his repertoire. I want to see him go for the kill, man. I want to see you just take your opponent out. I will say, man, we get so predictable. Oh, here's the thing: we get too many penalties. That is a fact, and that is a when we get penalties. I'm not mad at the refs. Like it's we most time when we get a penalty, it's something we really did. And I see it on replay. It's real. It's not some being made up. But here's another beef I have. I know exactly what we're gonna do on the next play when we get a penalty. We will run the ball every time after a penalty if it's on first or second down. I swear to God, if it's going to be 2nd and 15, we are running every time.
What about after a turnover?
Dude, what the hell, man? What we score 7 points on 3 turnovers or 4 turnovers? It's just what in the world, man?
I don't understand the play calling. It's what you just said, Austin. It's like what happened? You texted me earlier in the morning today, and you said it's like we're playing with Nico back there that doesn't know how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing with a very high IQ quarterback back there that knows how to do a lot of things. A very smart quarterback that is a veteran quarterback that's been around football for a long time. The dude is one of the most uber talented quarterbacks in the country. I don't care what anyone says. That guy is legit good. And you're running it like you're scared, especially after the turnovers, man. And when I sat there and watched us turn the ball over, it was the fumble where Arkansas guy go down the field. Our guys pop him. They pop him real good. And he fumbles the ball. And then we run it for a 2-yard loss. And that just kills the drive. Right there. Just kills it. And it's very frustrating. And I don't understand why we run that kind of stuff when you have momentum and you could at least take a kill shot. Like it doesn't have to kill him, but at least take a shot. At least take a shot right off the bat while the crowd is still into it. Because you better believe players feed off crowds. Like they do. The crowd's into it and they're like, I want to make a play. Anyone who's played sports knows that. Like your adrenaline's pumping, it's going. It's like, I want to take a kill shot. But man, that just absolutely takes the breath out of that stadium. Just quiets it. when you start off a drive and a 2-yard loss and run right at the middle.
Yeah, I just for lack of a better term, it feels like you're getting like cock blocked there. It's like, oh, everything's set up but great here. Oh, we're just gonna be super conservative. What the hell, man? I just it's something I'd like to see changed. And here's the thing: you are going into a game where you cannot be doing that crap. If you want, I don't think we're going to beat Alabama, but if you want to beat Alabama, you got to do that crap. You have to. You're gonna. I think you have to score 45 points Saturday if you want a victory. You cannot win it in 30s. I don't believe that. I think Alabama has shown to be pretty freaking good on offense. Kalen DeBoer's getting it going there, and they aren't the team they were last season. I know we might have all watched that Florida State game. I did as well and thought, oh, this is them. But that kind of was honestly maybe a bad thing for all of us because I think I got their heads on straight and in a good time. Like it's almost like the perfect way to open a season because you learn right away who like how bad you can play and how you have to not do that. I really oh man, this game would be nice to win.
It would. I'd be ecstatic to win. It does feel like one of those things where everyone's up in arms, and then Tennessee does play down to competition. I will never understand why. They play down to people that they should kill, like the Arkansas and the Mississippi States. And you saw Texas A&M come out. I know they had to play Tennessee the week before, but Texas A&M comes out the week after Tennessee plays Mississippi State, and they just beat them down like a good. And Texas A&M is a damn good football team. That no one's talking about. No one's talking about Texas A&M.
They might be the best team.
Man, they're good.
The top three in this country, in my opinion, are Indiana, Miami, and Texas A&M. Which that's weird.
You know what I'm going to say right here too? But that team has 2 losses. Notre Dame's looking like one of the best teams in the country too, and they have 2 losses.
And who will they lose to? At the wire to A&M and at the wire to Miami.
Notre Dame looks damn good.
Away from home.
They look good. They look like a solid. And I like Freeman, their head coach. I love that guy. Is really fun to root for. But I am horse, man. You're talking about being a horse. I'm still horse. I'm still struggling with my voice here.
Dude, it's it's just another day in Neyland Stadium, man. I will say, I heard some people saying the crowd wasn't that good. I
thought it was pretty good.
It was great. Yeah, I didn't get that. I was like,
everyone
maybe
always says
maybe it's certain sections.
I don't know where I sit. We sit down lower. You sit down low. I sit down low too as well. And I disagree. When people say that, I guess it's the people on TV and just the mics aren't picking it up very well. But it's loud, man. I don't care. Like when Arkansas fumbled it, the fumble that we were just talking about when they had a long run, they broke one, and then our guys just collided with them and he fumbled. As soon as that ball hit the ground and Tennessee recovered, that place like blew up.
Mm-hmm.
It got so loud, and then we ran for a 2-yard loss, which made me so angry. And it's just like, come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we take a shot? You had Brazzell out there with no high safety almost the entire game.
I really didn't like making that defense look good because Arkansas does not have a good defense. I was really disappointed in that. And I honestly, something no one's talked about, but I actually thought the O-line kind of played a not that great a game in terms of like how good they've been playing. Because that's not a good D-line. And I felt like they were getting to Joey a good bit. I don't think he got sacked ever, but he had a lot of times he had to get the balls out.
Yeah, there's a lot of QB pressures.
They brought a lot of heat. They did. They did. I mean, I've rewatched it. And I could look at it a few more times though, and see what maybe see something different. Bishop had a great game, man. What do you have? Is that a career high? 146 yards.
It was, dude. He was beasting out. I hope that kid's okay because in the stadium it looked like it was going to be really bad when it happened, but then the injury happened over towards my end zone. And he lay there for a little bit, and he got up and walked off pretty smoothly. It didn't seem like he was really limping or anything. He didn't have a limp like it seemed like he had like a bad injury or something. But when you see something like that, it looks like a bad sprain. and that's never good for someone who uses their legs a whole lot. But I, I just he had a hell of a game, and I, Joey, you can't tell me. I think I'm just gonna go with Joey right out of bounds and hit their electrical stuff to knock all their power out on purpose. I'm just gonna go with that theory. So that's
Well, I think they said it knocked ours out too.
and knock both of them.
Yeah. So everyone
And
had to
knock both.
sprint down to the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, be honest with me. What did you think immediately when Joey went down?
Just you talking about when he fell on the ball?
Yeah.
Oh, immediately thought the breath got knocked out of him. The
Really?
first thing, yes, because I remember it was. There's just one weird thing. You know how you remember weird things from your childhood, just random things that you
Yeah.
remember. That was one thing that I do remember. I was playing pee wee football, and I'll never forget getting tackled and landing on the ball, and it hit my stomach, and I thought I was gonna die because I couldn't breathe, and it was it like I thought I was dying right then and there. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. And then I turned over and then it kind of went away. It looked like he got the breath knocked out of him and maybe like bruised his ribs or something. It's gonna bruise his ribs. I think he has bruised ribs. If I'm no doctor, but that's what it
Didn't
looks
he?
like because I've had that injury.
I,
So
I I thought he hit his head on the ground. I thought he had a concussion. It was going
mhm.
to be out the Alabama game. That's what I thought happened.
the
But
way the way he landed with his arms tucked in and the ball underneath, and he landed flat on his belly, I
mm,
immediately was like said he got the wind knocked out of him. That's what I thought initially. And then
guy has got to learn to slide, man. If you're gonna, let me tell you, this next Saturday, you're going to play some future NFL players. Boy, if you don't slide, it's going. I don't know if you're finishing this season. You better learn to slide, man. If you're going to be a runner, and I need you to run because you're good at it. So, but slide, man. You got to slide. He played. He played pretty good. I felt like he kind of got screwed on a couple ones. Like he had a pass to Mike Matthews where Matthews just stops running for a second for some reason.
yeah,
And I was going to hit him right in stride in the end
stride.
zone.
Yep.
And Brazel drops a touchdown too. Kitzelman had a few drops. We haven't been terrible with drops this year, but that was pretty bad.
Yeah, Mike Matthews, the one you're talking about, Mike Matthews going down the sideline, he would have walked in with he would have walked straight in. There was nobody around him, and he just kind of stutter stepped on that route and kind of slowed down. If he just kept running straight, you're not. Mike Matthews can get behind the defense like no other receiver we have.
mhm.
That dude is always behind the defenders. He is so fast. So fast. If we could just get that timed right and get that really going, Mike Matthews, he's so fast and he's so good. He's one
He
of them. He's a dog, man. He's a dog.
when that all get I think there is still some gelling to do with him and
Mhm.
Joey. Once
Yes.
that connection gets more established, and I know we're halfway in the year, but that can improve. I saw it improve with Hooker. Like, um, remember I rewatched the Florida game in 22, and you saw Hooker and Hyatt. They were a little off. They were a little off on a couple plays, and that could have been touchdowns. And then I think it all finally clicked for that Alabama game at perfect timing, where every pass he threw, it was like perfectly timed to hit Hyatt in stride.
Yeah.
That is such a huge factor there. And if Joey and Mike Matthews can get on that same page, oh my God, that can be the most lethal combo. Like I think Brazel is probably our most talented pro receiver, but man, the speed Mike Matthews has, I mean that that's touchdown for touchdown for touchdown. If you don't leave safeties out.
Yeah, he can definitely get behind. And that's what killed me about this game is it was so many times where Brazel was one on one with no high safety, and we
Hmm.
didn't throw it to him. It just you're sitting there seeing it, you're like, there is no high safety. There is no high safety. And it's kind of mind boggling. Then we just run it. I'm like, come on. Donald chimed in again. How about the officials? Let's get into this. Let's get it around the whole country. Because how about the officiating? Arkansas without a penalty until sometime in the third quarter? Question mark.
Ridiculous.
It was bad.
When I
It was
lost my mind the most was when I mean I think it was second and 12. We throw to I think it was Staley or Brazel. I can't recall totally. And the ball is like 3 feet from him, and he just gets tackled straight up.
Yeah.
And the official watched the whole thing. And this is right after, I can't remember exactly what happened before, but we were already feeling a little screwed on the play before. And then that happened, and the floodgates came open. That is when I knew I was going to have no voice the next day because I was letting it all fly. Sorry to the guy who brought his kids to his first game because that was oof. New
Anybody
words
that
were
brings their
learned.
kids
New
to
words were learned.
yeah. Anybody that brings their kids to a game like that, you better be ready to hear some things that you don't want your children
Yep.
to hear.
While Greg Sankey's running the conference.
They will be said. They will be said. But let's talk about that because the officiating, not in our game, but just in the entire country, is a massive issue. And I've said this a million times. Officials need to have press conferences. This is bullshit. They get away with everything. I know they have their little review sessions where they get fined or they get dropped to lower games and make less money if they make mistakes. But that Georgia and Auburn game last night, did you watch it live or did you just see little highlights of it?
I watched a lot of it live, but I was at a restaurant, so
Yeah,
it
so you
was
couldn't hear it.
I couldn't hear it all. I mean, I think they had it played through the audio, but I did have to rewatch the moment you were talking about the touchdown they called back.
God, when I tell you, and Georgia fans are so stupid. They think it's like they think that every penalty that happened, they're like, oh, it was pretty much an accurate call. Like all the people in the comments, like you are so dumb. Like if you know how I know you're dumb is because when you get like that, it's always against Alabama, and Alabama always gets all the calls, and that's how you lose. But that's how Auburn lost. That Auburn would have had that was a 17-0 lead Auburn was about to have, and Georgia was dead to the water, dead to the water, and Georgia only ended up scoring 20 points when Auburn could have had 17, and that killed every bit of momentum Auburn had that no touchdown call. And then after that, it was just call after call. Did you see the Georgia guy just lower his head and target the hell out of that Auburn guy? Nothing. I mean, it's just absolutely nothing.
And what they said, Kirby didn't call a timeout there.
That was insane.
Like he said, I was clapping, and you go look back. He literally is going
yelling.
Oh my God!
And yelling the word timeout.
How does Hugh Freeze finish that game? How does he not get thrown out? Because you would have to, you throw me out. You got to get me out of the state, man. After that,
you talk about having composure when you have every announcer on the screen saying that is awful numerous times throughout a game. There's something wrong. There's something wrong when all three of those when the two play-by-play callers had the same opinion of, oh, that ball was over the line. That's a touchdown. And then when you bring on the official that they bring on when there's a call that they need to decide which one's right, which one's wrong. When you have the two color commentators say that it's a touchdown, and then the ref comes on the screen and says, oh, yeah, that's a touchdown. And then the refs come on the field and are like, it's not a touchdown. And then
what they call on the field? What they call on the field?
I can't remember. I mean, it doesn't matter what you called on the field. It doesn't matter what you called on the field because he was across the line and then the ball got punched out. That's a touchdown all day, every day. In every single world universe that football is played, that is a touchdown all day long, every day. And then, of course, that just sucks every bit of life out of Auburn. And they dictated the game. The refs dictated that entire game. And I'm sitting there laying in bed because I was exhausted. And me and my wife were sitting there and we're like, this is insane. And then when Kirby Smart came running down with the clapping his hands apparently, but also yelling timeout at the same time. What coach in this planet just runs down the sideline full speed clapping?
And he wasn't clapping.
I know.
He wasn't. I mean, he literally doing this. Like,
yes,
that's literally what he's doing. I mean, dude, I don't know, man. We've been through our hell, and we had the Georgia game just a little bit ago. But man, the hell an Auburn fans go through, and on top of it all, Stephen Pearl's now your basketball coach. That's a wild little world they live in, man. Right smack between Bama fans and Georgia fans. I mean, there's no breathing room there. I
Yeah.
don't know how you do it. I mean, I jokingly said that in the fourth quarter of the Alabama game, some Auburn fans sold his soul to the devil for a win there.
I don't know. It's bad though, man. It's bad. Like you said, Tennessee had their moments, but if that was, could you imagine? Okay, could you imagine if that were to happen in Neyland Stadium? You think mustard bottles and golf balls were bad? It would have been hell on earth for everybody in a red uniform if that was Georgia doing that to Tennessee in Neyland. It would have been a all time raining down of everything that's in the stands onto that field.
Do you think we actually like some people break out on the field and like start running it?
I wouldn't doubt it because how bad those calls were, that changed the whole game. It was bad, not just bad.
We are like this close to getting like you know how they get in like Brazil soccer games mad.
Yeah.
Like those were like literally you got to put cages around the game.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost to that level. We're pretty close, but we keep it civilized. But man, I will say that some like animalistic like tendencies kick in when you're in those games. It's a certain level of rage, man.
Yeah, and then Ron Buchanan comments off Twitter and says Auburn got screwed. The officials need to answer questions after the game, just like the coaches and players. And that's what I just said. They need to answer questions because I want to know. And I like what is it, the Big 10 or Big 12 or whoever's doing it on Friday nights,
ACC.
ACC, where you can hear the officials and every play call, every call that they make penalty wise, that they have to explain what's going on. And they have a mic on them. They need to do that with everyone.
I heard that I can't remember. I think it was Austin Price talking about it. He said, "Well, if they did in the SEC, they need to have like the, you know how they do in the crime documentaries, like the guy who can't show his face, because if you recognize that voice too well, you see him on church on Sunday. Was that you who decided that? No, wasn't me. What are you talking about?"
Ron chimes back in and says, I am 61 years old and I have never seen officiating this bad in my life. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is really bad. How is it so bad? Like, I just don't get it, man. This is way above like higher level. This is like there's so many levels below this. You would think you get pretty good performances. Like, I don't know, man. It's just, and it's like it's pretty obvious stuff usually. Like,
well, last night was real obvious.
You can call stuff delayed, you know, too.
Yeah,
I don't get how it's so bad. I almost like how do you not just like have a guy there? There needs to be one guy that's like, no, this is obviously this. We gotta overturn that. Sorry. And you know they do huddle up and have conversations, but we need. Yeah, that's what I would say. Every moment that's like that, where they would huddle and make a decision, I think there needs to be a guy up top, you know, who's watching it from afar, who can say, "Hey, no, yes, no, this is what we need to do here," because clearly they have some biases where it's like, well, I made that call. I'm proud of my call. I want to own my call or some shit like that. And that's just that does not need to be a part of this. I need a guy that can overrule all of them. Like the three on the field don't need to be the only judge and jury involved. There needs to be another party that gets to decide if that was a good call or not. Because they clearly have pride in their calls. They think it's their word is their bond and crap like that. And they're gonna stick with a bad call. That's what I believe happens. That's a big factor, I believe. And also, I mean, my thing is usually the home team gets a good whistle because you know you don't want to get your head yelled off by fans. But man, it seems like these guys love making the bad calls for the road team. It's kind of funny.
Did you
it's
see the
never really
video?
worked that way.
Did you see the video of one of the Tennessee players' false starts and the right end or whoever was on Arkansas's defensive line screaming? He was like, "What? What?" He like screamed. You could see him scream it, and then our guy jumped. So how do the officials standing right there not see that? I mean, it's pretty blatant too. Like you can see his whole head moving forward. Like what? What? His whole body is yelling it, and he jumps off sides. I mean, false starts, and then
It's
our offensive
insane.
line just immediately puts him like, "What the heck, man? Like what the heck?" So I don't know where these officials' heads are. It seems like they're up their butts, but they need to do something because it's it's atrocious. It's
It's
screwing teams.
it's so bad, and God, we got basketball season coming up, so you're just gonna get angry,
Even
man.
worse, yeah.
You want to see? You think football officiating is bad? You ain't seen nothing until you're watching a basketball game. And I will say, basketball's a way harder sport to call, but what are you gonna do?
It's crazy. It's just nuts. So we move on to the officiating. Let's move on to this. We've kind of breaking down Tennessee. We know where they're headed. We've seen the games from season's beginning to right now. They're headed to Tuscaloosa. I don't feel good about it. But usually, when you don't feel good about something, something better happens than you actually believe that would happen. So we'll
No,
see.
sometimes it's worse.
Sometimes it doesn't, but with this Tennessee team, what we just said is they lower their standards to their opponents, and then they play really good against people that are really good. That's just I don't know why they do that, but they do, and it's very frustrating. And I wish they would just stay consistent and just beat the people they're supposed to beat with ease.
I,
And I don't know, man. The Tennessee team, Josh Heupel rises to good competition. He
See, he
rises.
used to though. I actually disagree with that statement though.
You don't think so?
I feel like in most of the hyper era, we usually beat the teams we should. That has kind of been his staple. Like we don't really
Yeah, you're right
have
there.
that. Because like I don't know, we've never lost to Vandy or Kentucky since he's been here, and Florida we always play close even when we shouldn't because that's Florida, and they do have talent to compete. But I feel like a lot of times, and we never really play close with any G5 opponents. So I don't know if I agree with that totally. NC State we blew out, Syracuse we blew out, Virginia we blew out. I mean, it's just
I'm talking about what I'm talking about is these games like Mississippi State, like Arkansas that just are not good. Like what were we saying last year going to the Arkansas game? Oh, dude, we should blow them out. Like they sucked last year, and they beat us. They
yeah.
suck They suck this year, and they keep it close. Mississippi State is better this year, but they're still not as good as we are. And I know it's in Starkville. I know they're still amped up, but still, you have a talent gap that's better than theirs, and
Mhm.
you should just beat them. Like you should beat them. If your coaching is on point and on par, you should just beat them. That's where I'm at with that.
And you have motivation. That freaking running
Yes,
back said, "Hey, I saw holes, or we see plenty of holes." And guess what? He ran all over you for 4 quarters.
he ran through
That's a,
every hole.
that's embarrassing, dude. Imagine someone saying, "Hey, this is where you suck at," and then you go out and this guy, yeah, told you. I literally told you this is what you suck at, and I was gonna run through it, and that's what I did, and that's
Well,
embarrassing. That's a wake. That has to be a wake up call for that position room, the
it's got to
linebackers
be.
and the D line.
It's got to be. And if it's not a wake up call this week, then we are screwed. Especially if Jam Miller decides to play, he might rush for 300 yards. So,
You know how I know you had a bad day on defense? Andre Turrentine led your team in tackles.
well, that's not good.
That's not good at all.
That's not good.
If a safety's
So,
leading you in tackles, you are letting them run
yeah.
roughshod over you. Um,
Let's talk about what else is not good around the country. Penn State's not a head coach. I don't know if that's not good or not. I know they're sick of him. I know they're tired of him. James Franklin is has got to be the most frustrating coach ever. If it's your head coach. I mean, I get that you went to the playoffs last year, and I get that you won 2 games in the playoffs. That's the best he's ever done. But he has this pattern of doing just not well against teams that are better than him, honestly. And then he went spiraling out of control after the loss to Oregon. And then he lost to UCLA, and then he loses to Northwest. Northwestern is a bad football team. A bad football team with no stadium. So I say yes. I challenge all of you guys this week after listening to our podcast, of course. to go listen to Penn State podcast. Those people are lighting the world on fire up there, and it's hilarious. It is damn near hilarious. Trent Dilfer gets fired from UAB, which that little experiment didn't work out. But what are your thoughts on Penn State firing James Franklin not even midway through the season?
Absolutely shocking. I did
He,
not see that happening.
me either,
I
not right now.
really, I, okay. Would I be happy with James Franklin right now if I am a Penn State fan? Absolutely not. I am pissed off beyond belief because, this is, he has built you up. He's built you up. And I was talking about this the other night. It's like every year he rolls out Super Iowa. Like like it's like a super version of what Iowa is. And that's not bad because Iowa ain't that bad and you're above that level. So but it is a product you kind of get sick of watching. And here's my thing. I don't think I think they gave him a decision to make. I think they sat him down and said, "Hey, fire these guys and change this or you're out." And I don't know. I'm going off pure speculation, but
it's usually what that kind of stuff.
But I think he refused to make those changes, so they fired him.
Yeah,
that's my theory. Because you don't make a decision like this.
I also think
look, last season was his best year.
It was his best year. That was his best year he's ever had.
But you usually get fired right after your best year.
I know, but when you think about it, and the larger picture of it, that stuff gets really old. That stuff gets that's exhausting. Not old. That gets exhausting as a fan. You can take only so much of that before you just know the outcome every year. And we posted that on channel a couple weeks ago. Is this guy rolls out the same team, the same results almost every single year, and this year was even worse. But that you know what I mean though, like that as a fan, just it's exhausting every year.
I agree. I agree with that statement, but I will caution anyone who is like in this position.
Yes,
this is why I've always been a little hesitant to criticize Heupel or Brick Barnes too much because when you cross that bridge into the unknown, I feel like it usually goes bad when you're doing pretty good but not satisfied, and then you want to go level up, so you fire your head coach and do a whole revamp of the program. It's a big gamble. Let me say, you're gambling a lot. Let Nebraska, let old Tennessee tell you that it's a gamble. It can go wrong. It can very much go wrong once you break out of the consistent fold. It can go right though. Look at Georgia with Kirby Smart. It can go right. It can go right. But
what you got to think of it though. It's not like it was 5 or 6 years. It was there for 12 years. Eventually, it's like, okay, this is running its course. It's running its course. But you're not getting any better. You're not getting any worse. You're there. You're there. Like it's frustrating.
I do think they make this decision knowing they are about to put a lot more money into this program because they just signed they're signing that deal with Adidas. It's going to be almost on par with our deal. And they're about to have a lot of money. I think they want to win now, and they're going to put even more money into this, and they want to do it with someone else. That's pretty much the place they were at. And I've heard they're looking at hiring Matt Rule out from Nebraska. That's
why.
I know. I don't know.
I haven't heard any names yet. But do you think, real quick, them making this quick decision that they have something in mind already? Like if you don't, you're dumb. If you don't, you have to have at least some type of chatter with somebody, or you're just flat out dumb for doing this right this second.
Lord Almighty, please hire Kurt Cignetti so no one in my conference does. That's all I can say. I just do not want to see Kurt Cignetti in the SEC. That is something that scares me. And the guy has no Southern connection, so he might like to be at Penn State. But yeah. I've heard Matt Rule. But
well, we all know how this goes.
Let's talk about Indiana.
We will. We all know how this goes though with the coaching search. Every name that's put out there, it's probably not going to happen. It's going to be something else. So everyone's well too far aware of how that happens. All right, let's Indiana.
John
Go.
Gruden, baby.
John
Again,
Gruden.
Gruden.
Gruden watch. Groomers. All right, go for it, Austin. Indiana. Let's
Okay.
talk about that because holy crap.
Indiana goes up to Autzen. Game day's there. Big game day or big game. They're not overlooking Indiana. Let's be that clear. Indiana, and they're flying all the way to the West Coast. Like this is the BS they're making us do in college football. But and let's be honest, Indiana doesn't have that kind of roster that Oregon does. But they go out and beat the hell out of them. They beat them by 10 points. It's not even a one possession game. Honestly, that I was a little shocked. I don't think I've ever seen a 2-year coaching job be more impressive than what Kurt Cignetti is doing at Indiana. Because legitimately, he probably has like the 40th best roster in the country, and he right now has one of the top 3 teams in the sport. That it's honestly unbelievable what he's got going up there.
I'm trying to find the tweet, but I saw it earlier today. His roster compared to every other big boy team in their league, it's not even close. They have way more talent. They have way more players. But apparently, I don't know. Weird how coaching actually does matter in football, not just the talent. I know
Got a hell of a
Bobby.
quarterback too.
Yeah, I know what's his face. Old coach at Florida State, Bobby. What's his name? Why the hell am I blanking? I always blank on somebody's name.
Petrino?
No, FSU, Florida State.
Oh, Bobby Bowden.
Bobby Bowden. Bobby Bowden said, "You get the best talent in college football, you win the most games." That's not true. That is not true.
Usually is.
Not really. Not always. Not always.
Yeah, I mean, usually a team with the top five rosters are usually what win the national titles every year. And I'm not saying Indiana's going to win a national title. I don't think they are, but
coaching matters.
It does very much matters. It very much matters. It's what I mean. Hell, I mean they recruit too, so it matters a lot.
I mean, you're seeing that
so
with Clemson
impressive
right now,
dude. If you get him at a program with a lot of resources, holy hell, that guy might. I think the only thing holding him back, I think, is he's 63 years old.
Yep.
That's the only thing holding him back. Which, but if he was younger, he could have like an Urban Meyer-esque career.
Yeah, yeah. That does suck that he's kind of older. But man, that's crazy.
Sucks. Relieves me.
Yeah. Well, it is crazy to look at that. Him in Indiana and how insanely good they've been this entire season. But let's look across the entire country. Let's start out with our next opponent, Alabama, down to the wire against Missouri, 27-24. What are your thoughts on that game? Bama commits penalties too. That's what I said. That's what I noticed.
They commit a lot of penalties. Yeah, Bama, I think I hear a stat one time they've only had one game under Kalen DeBoer where they've won the penalty battle.
Yeah.
But that's an impressive win. You were up 2 possessions late in that game too, so it's not like exactly how that score looks, the final result.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just a good win. I mean, both the Vandy and Missouri games, they've kind of made me think, okay, Bama is definitely better than they were against Florida State, but they aren't unbeatable. Okay, they are not. I don't think the SEC is that. There's not a super elite team in this conference. There isn't. There's a Miami might be. I don't know.
Miami's pretty good.
But
but like when you're talking about just that team, you're just like, oh my gosh, they're unbeatable. There's no one like that.
No.
There's no one like that. No one.
There is no one. But Alabama, I will say it's like I think they could lose to like half the conference, or they can also beat them by 20 points. It's a weird team that those two results though, Vandy and Missouri have just confirmed who they are, in my opinion. And honestly, I think that's the kind of I think we'll lose to them. But I will say, if I had to have a kind of result I wanted them to have before we play them, that's kind of it. A win that you get, but you're not like feeling like you're a superhuman team.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna make them so confident about themselves. But it's a good like maintaining where they are kind of win. So I think are, are we in a good spot here? Do you think like both teams?
You talking about Alabama and Tennessee?
Yeah, I think that this is a good spot for us. I don't know.
I think I don't know. I think Alabama's pretty good. I think Tennessee's pretty good. This is a weird game. I the defense really, God, it worries the hell out of me. I don't know how we're going to stop Alabama from scoring. We give every freaking receiver 1,000 yards of cushion when we play zone or whatever we play. But I don't know, man. It's just gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to beat them, especially in Tuscaloosa, where it's gonna be at nighttime, and it's just that worries me.
I
But
do think Heupel calls usually a good game against Alabama. I think that's usually his best
he
game he
calls a
calls.
pretty good game against anyone with a pulse. Like anyone that's like really good. Like I said, we play down to our opponents usually in the SEC. And we play up to the people that are really good. Like we seem to have an edge or a fire to us when we play someone that we need to beat.
Oh yeah. Oh that's not even you're talking about the coaching, but that kind of matters with the players as well. Like they
Yeah.
know this is a bigger game. They know what they're in, what's in front of them. They
Yeah.
understand it, and it's a little bit of like put some adrenaline in your blood. You know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
you, you care more. It's like you will be pissed as hell if you don't win this game. And I mean, not like you wouldn't be pissed if you lost to Arkansas, but it's a little different deal. It's definitely mentally with all the players too. So we got to take into a lot. There's a lot to take into account there. I think we definitely have a shot in this game. Uh, we definitely have a shot. I don't think we win. I think we lose, but it wouldn't surprise me if we won. We have to. How many points do you think we need to score to win this game?
45.
Yeah, at least 40. You're gonna at least need to be in the 40s to win this game. I mean, hell,
Mm-hmm.
that was the case against Georgia. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you scored 40 points, you win that game.
Mm-hmm.
You probably need to force maybe 2 turnovers, and you need to score on them. You don't need to just run it 3 times and punt it back.
We do that.
I do think we have a lot. We were holding a little bit back on offense in this game. I only saw a couple times we
I'm
did,
sick of saying that.
but we did unleash everything against Georgia. So I felt like that game we had all the stuff we were planning.
Then why don't we do that every game?
Because you don't want to show your cards.
Dude, it's midway through the season. That's bullshit. You don't want to show your cards? Everyone's got film on you. Everyone.
Yeah, but I think you draw up different.
That is
things.
such bullshit comment. I can't stand that shit. You don't want
true,
to show all. You don't want to show. No, it's
true.
not.
Yes, it's true.
Oh, it is. Okay,
dude,
so
dude, tell
so
me that. Watch the Georgia game. Tell me that didn't look way different than.
Okay,
so
so
we were running. We were running way different stuff.
So Mississippi State and Arkansas, we're just going to go vanilla. Is what you're telling me?
A little bit.
That is stupid. I'm sorry. That is so dumb. Like we're not going.
I mean, not vanilla.
We're not going to show certain plays because we're playing certain people. No, go look at other teams. They pull out stops against any team they're playing. It doesn't matter. That is such a bullshit excuse. I hate that crap.
It's not an excuse. I'm just talking about what happened.
Sounds like an excuse to me. No, that's not what happened.
I'm just saying against Georgia, it felt like we had a lot we were holding. Like we kind of unleashed everything we had.
So we unleashed the entire playbook, and then we just tucked it back in our back pocket after that.
Not
so now everyone has the entire playbook from
Georgia. I think
makes some sense.
You may have scouted those teams more. I think you had scouted those defenses a little more. Like you've been scouting them maybe the entire offseason and whatnot. I think maybe you just put a higher emphasis on those squads, and you have more in store for those defenses. I do think that's probably a factor, and you don't feel like you have to because you only got so much time at your disposal with recruiting and everything. That you don't feel like you have to as much for Arkansas and Mississippi State.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. That's so dumb. I hate that thing. I hate when people say that.
It is a weird
show our whole
excuse.
playbook. It's not a weird.
But
It's not. It is weird.
did
It's
it not feel though against Georgia like, okay, we had stuff ready for this game?
Because Georgia kept scoring and scoring and scoring. Like you could have blown out Arkansas by 30 if you wanted to. And you're not sitting in the poll the same.
And the whole
spot.
Bama game in 22, it felt like that was a lot of stuff we had, specifically playing for them.
No, people have tape on Heupel's offenses. People have tape on him for freaking 4 or 5 years, dude. They don't. They know.
But it's different stuff. I mean, he has adapted a lot this year. I do think the offense has adapted a lot.
I think
that a lot of different stuff.
I just think that is
his clock management's gone back in time, but what are you gonna do?
Let's talk about real quick. Do you feel better now about Oklahoma coming to Neyland later in the season after watching them against Texas?
Why do you play John Mateer in that game?
I don't know.
That's dumb. That guy. I mean, I guess I do. I mean, I don't know what he'll look like on November 1st. So he clearly they should not have played him because you know what? The committee will look at that loss and say, well, you didn't have your quarterback. I'll kind of excuse it, but you went out there and played him with the freaking screw in his thumb, and your offense couldn't work. And but they can't say, well, you had your quarterback though when that result happened. Mm-hmm. I don't. Yeah, I think we'll beat them. I don't think they're that good. I really don't.
I'm starting to kind of think that way too, but we'll see. Anything can happen. College football is a week-to-week motion, which is this season's nuts. This season's nuts. Like
last season was nuts. This season's a little even nuttier.
What is the playoff picture going to look like now? Like you have this season, people are losing, dropping games. Like it's fun. It's fun. You know who's not dropping a lot of games though is us, and that's all I care about right now.
Yeah, we're not losing.
We're not losing.
I as mad as like I'm back-to-back times now. I've left a game. I've left a win, feeling like what the hell, man. Like I mean, we won, but that's your kind of feeling. But there's a lot of people leaving games where it's like, what the hell happened? Oh, I'm gonna kill myself. That's how a lot of people leave games. I've left a game saying that one time this year. So
yeah.
And my God, how do you lose to Pitt at home if you're freaking
I know.
Florida State? Lord, I'd say is Mike Norvell in a hot seat? He has.
Oh yes. Their fan base is not happy, dude.
I bet no one saw this coming when they beat the hell out of Bama. My God,
is not happy.
That guy's not a good coach. I don't care what anyone says. He is a high ceiling guy, and when I mean high ceiling, I mean maybe one Saturday he'll have a great result. But then he's going to play like crap or have nothing else in the bag for the rest of the year.
And real quick before we kind of give our score predictions of this weekend, how is LSU still ranked number 10? Again, for forever weeks in a row, they cannot score over 25 points. They scored 20 again.
They have a top 5 win over Clemson, man.
They can't score. Their offense is worse than the Titans, it feels like. It's bad. They can't do anything on offense. Nothing at all.
It's so
bad.
Well, I think Nussmeier is hurt. That's it
you
looks
should
like that.
Still be able to score more than 20 points.
They got a good defense. I'll give them that. They definitely got a good defense.
They got a great defense. They got a great defense.
I mean,
defense wins championships. You want to watch it? No, it don't.
Kind of remind me of us last year. That's how I would describe them.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunate, very fortunate team. But
what's your let's wrap up this podcast. Final score. Tennessee goes down, Tuscaloosa, 7-15, night game. What is your final score?
Alabama 41, Tennessee 31.
Alabama 48, Tennessee 26.
You just have to be a little more negative than I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even if I'm like, you know what, I'm feeling good over this. I'm not gonna go on my You couldn't just like let me be on the negative side. I for once want to predict. Have I ever in our history of doing this podcast predicted like a worse result? I think one time I said we were going to lose to Alabama in 22, and you and Lacey both said we were going to win. That's the only time I
Yep.
think you were or I was more negative than you were.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'd say, I don't know why I thought you'd say we win.
Well, we will soon find out. It's been a great podcast. It's been fun. Love to argue with your dumbass. So we'll do it again next week, following the Alabama game. Tennessee, Alabama, 7:15 Eastern Time. Had fun, my dude. We'll do it again. Peace out. Good night. Go Vols. God bless. Bye-bye.